Hello, everybody, and welcome to Property Sense SG. My name is Jag Singh.
My name is Noonal Farina.
Hi, I'm Farisha.
Hi, I'm Cherry.
Yes, and today on the show, episode 1, guys, is we will be talking about the hottest topic of the town.
Yeah.
The talk of the town is the new HDB launched resale flat listing portal.
Yes, that's
now,
right.
the rumors have it that with this new launch of this portal, we agents are going to become redundant. It's going to kill our industry, and it's going to affect our rice bowl. Now, just to give you a little bit of history about this portal, right? It was launched on 30th of May, and as we speak right now, it has about close to 800 listings. That means the sellers are allowed to actually post their listings on this portal. So is it really going to affect us? Is it going to affect our livelihood? So let's find out about our discussion today, yeah? So, Noonal, what's your take on this new portal? Is it going to kill the real estate industry? Is it going to affect our rice bowl?
I think it's a big word to kill and to take away our job. I think it's just another form of measure that is being done by the government. So we have to welcome that, and of course, we are very happy about it. Yes, let's see how it goes about.
Okay, cool. So you're happy about it. Very interesting. All right, moving on to you. Farina, what is your take on this new kid on the block?
Okay, this initiative is something that I welcome because I now have another platform to list my units that I'm selling. I don't have to rely on the current existing ones. And it's also an opportunity for us to be more creative, to be more innovative in our marketing strategy. Well, after all, we have to adapt to changes, right? So whether or not it will affect our rice bowl, I don't think so.
So in your sense, in your 2 words, it is not going to affect our rice bowl?
No, it won't. It might, while there will be some impact, it will not. Because selling your unit is not just listing your unit up in the portal. There's a lot of factors involving to sell your unit effectively. So just to name a few, there's the financial aspect. There's many calculation involved, and we have to do it right. Otherwise, there'll be implications.
Yes.
And then there's also the timeline planning. And we know that's very tedious.
Yeah.
So we need to actually do that well, to plan properly so that moving from one home to the other home, it's a smooth process.
Okay.
The transition is smooth. Then there's also the loan application, the arranging of viewers, the negotiation. So it's a whole lot of skill sets involved, not just putting up.
So it's a whole process in general, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so in a very simple manner, would you think it's going to affect, yes or no?
In the long run, I highly doubt it will affect our value-added service is still necessary to sell your unit.
Okay, well said, well done.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to our next lovely lady, Cherry. Is this new RFL portal, is it just a hype, or is it going to be too early to say? What's the impact on it?
Okay, when something is introduced in the market, definitely everybody talks about it. Okay, it becomes the talk of the town. But I would say that this will settle down eventually. Of course, I do understand that the sellers are very excited about listing their portal units on the portal. And there's a bit of hype as well, but also that comes with some teething issues while posting their units at the portal. They might find it a little tedious or cumbersome, or if they find it a little difficult to maneuver, definitely they're going to look for some professional help. So it is a hype for now, but I would say it will cool down eventually.
Okay, so in a closing statement, would you say it is going to kill us, yes or no?
It will not.
It will not.
It's another portal, where we have listings to look for.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for sharing. Well, I think for me personally, my take on this matter, I would find that the RFL, which is known as the HDB resale flat listing portal, right? It's more like a double-edged sword because it has advantages and disadvantages. The advantages, I would say, is basically more for the consumers, like the sellers and the buyers, because I kind of, am pleased with this because By HDB coming up with this initiative, right, is basically sending a very clear signal to the sellers and buyers of the market indices or where the market is going to. So sellers also will know roughly this is the price of my property in this location, and the buyers also know if I want to buy this property in this location, this is what I'm expected to pay. So I think that's a good advantage.
So you're saying that the information out there is very transparent, not
Yes.
like
Yeah,
what,
exactly.
not like the existing
True,
situation
it is
right
Yes,
now.
transparent.
correct.
Yeah.
And then as for the agent's point of view, I would say it's something that all of us welcome because it opens up the playing field. We don't only have just one particular portal for listings anymore. We have the
Right.
HDB one now also.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that will, in other words, bring the prices down for us. So we won't be monopolized by just one particular portal.
Yeah.
The prices will not be very unreasonably, posted over there.
Correct. And I think the disadvantage would be, every consumer, because every one of us is a homeowner before, right? And we are homeowners now also. So, definitely when you have a house, you want to market it and you think that, okay, because of my sentimental values, the renovation I've spent, you may feel that, oh, I think this is what is the right price for my property. But with this portal, the disadvantage is that, if I'm not wrong, I think it was in today's headlines I read somewhere.
Yeah, on the
It
newspaper.
was yesterday's news. Yeah.
Yesterday's news, right?
Yes.
It was saying that I think it was how many units were
50,
taken off?
50 units, yeah.
50 units
50
have
units
been-
were actually taken off the portal. So
Correct.
so sellers actually have this disadvantage because you may think my property is worth $1 million, but when you put it
But
out,
there's no control.
yes, there's no control. Yeah.
So external factors
Correct.
are coming into control. The way that you need to sell your house, the amount of that you have to list it out, everything has been controlled. So in this manner, right, I think sellers will be more restricted.
Yeah.
And they won't be able to have the freedom to ask
The
for.
expectations will become more realistic because
Yes.
coming from us, a lot of times the consumers will be like, no lah, I think my property still can fetch this price,
True,
right?
true.
But with this platform now, it's there. You cannot lie with it.
It's transparent.
realistic. It's
The
realistic.
HDB itself
Yeah.
prompts 10% above, when it going
For the past
10%
6
above
months.
the
Transactions.
market value
Yeah.
Okay,
also.
okay.
And the reason they have also removed these listings was also the invalid content, which
Invalid.
shows that
Yes.
sellers did not
Are not
know how
able
to
to,
list their properties, and what to prompt in there or how to explain about the property and things like that. So that was also one of the reasons these listings have been taken out.
And
So
I'm
they're not
very
really-
sure
HDB.
if it's an urgent seller, I'm very sure they have wasted a lot of time in
Yeah.
this process.
So you have to be really,
I
you have
agree
to be
with you.
very IT savvy and you have to be able to maneuver around, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But for me, I think there's something which the disadvantage I would say for the consumers and sellers in both respect, or sellers and buyers, is that regardless of whether the technology they're using now or the future technology that they're going to have in the future, it will never be able to replace one thing, and that is the personal
human
attention
touch,
and the human touch that we
Yeah,
actually
yes,
can.
very true.
I
the
do agree with
personalized,
you.
the personalized touch.
So that's something that
we
you
all
can never.
appreciate. Yeah.
Correct.
Exactly. Because for right now, we only need the system to put in your sellers or whatever properties that you have. We need a system to put in to sell. But what
Yeah.
about the other aspect?
But
what
that does
about
not replace an
solutions coming
agent.
with the different scenarios, right? Each client have each set of problems, and those problems needs find different kind of solutions. That's where we come in. In fact, some of the time, whenever we go for consultation, they don't have to sell the house. In fact, they really don't need to sell because they're selling due to the pressure because the neighbor sold it, or they have to sell it because due to some 20K, 30K difference, they want to sell the house. But once we go in and calculate the entire process, in fact, they don't have to sell the house. They can keep it just by renting out one of the room for 6 months or 1 year. The problem can be solved.
Overcome their financial.
So all these aspects wouldn't be given
Yes,
when
by the
you're,
platform.
when you're
By
doing
the platform
alone.
itself.
Correct.
So that's where we come in with our expertise
Yes,
and everything. So it's not about money and cents all the time, but of course, we let them know the actual scenario.
Yeah.
So this
we
is
guide
where
them well.
Yes.
This is our profession. So we guide them well whether to go for it or not to go for it.
Okay, now still sticking to the same topic of the RFL, right? So basically the consensus are that we're not going to be out of jobs, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Now moving on, do you think, I'm going to start with you, Noonal, do you think that with this current RFL, do you think that the sellers and buyers can make do without agents?
I strongly agree that if we are put into that kind of situation in future without agents, we are able to do. I really, really welcome that because that is something that's I don't think so. It's much very easily achievable because, as I mentioned, we're only talking about the technical part of the selling process. We are not talking about the human touch, the solutions to the problems. The machine will not be able to embrace what kind of family nucleus you have, what kind of sentiments you have, because that's where we come in. So it's more to the, if you tell me that you can sell the house just like putting up like eBay or Amazon or Carousel, right? I don't think so it will be effective, or even, how would I say, it will not suit a property, a home, to sell in that manner, because as I mentioned, in 80% of our HDB homes comes with a different kind of scenarios. Mother adding to the father is doesn't want to add in the there's so many scenarios, and then we have divorce cases and everything. So all these matters need to be handled very carefully, and emotions are involved. So if we have to be carefully, write out the draft out how they're going to take their property, because each property is only about 99 years, so they have to make a proper decision. So it's not just buy, sell, and then move on. It doesn't that. The kids are involved, the parents are involved, they themselves involved. So I think very, very unlikely that we will go out of job. And
So in a nutshell, sellers and buyers will still require our services.
Yeah,
definitely they will.
They do require that human touch.
For a confidence,
But
to a
nobody
confidence.
likes my human touch, no? But anyway, I think maybe because you are ladies, yeah. Because
No,
mostly when
not
you
that
guys,
physical touch.
yeah, I know what you mean. But basically,
Emotional.
yeah,
and the
I think
guidance,
it's
those
true because
things.
I agree with you 100% because when you call up a person on the phone, when you talk to a personal, another human being, you get your senses or what you want straight away.
Yeah.
It's quite irritating when you want to call somebody and you have a lot of bots there telling you press this number, press that number.
Press
I know.
1 for
Those
angry.
automated
How are you
messages
feeling
really
today?
pisses you off.
Press 1
Correct.
for
sometimes,
anger. Press 2 for
True.
support.
So I
Exactly.
think the same
you
thing.
really feel that, God, let someone pick up the phone and then answer my question.
So I think in the long run,
Correct.
the sellers and the buyers are going to get very frustrated with this portal and they feel like knocking the portal because it's not responding back to us
True.
as agents.
Exactly.
Yeah? Okay, still on the same question, we're going to move on to you. Okay. Do you think that, with this RFL being launched, all right, do you think that, I already mentioned to her, can we do without agents?
Okay.
Now, I'm going to ask you, what are the most likely difficulties the sellers and the buyers are going to get with this DIY sellers who are putting up their listings on the portal?
So first and foremost, and I say this is like probably the top on the list, buying a unit requires a lot of time, commitment, and energy, which many people do not have, especially if you are
a
already
luxury.
working,
Yeah.
if you have family to attend to. So managing transaction, managing the entire selling process can pose as a challenge. So that's where we come in to provide you with that service. The handling of viewing schedules, the negotiation that has to be done professionally. So this will pose as a challenge. And then also, there's a significant amount of paperwork and legal requirement that we have to comply with, and we have to ensure that everything's in order. Otherwise, it might delay or even jeopardize the whole transaction.
Exactly. Recently, I want to let you know, because this couple are divorced, but they want to sell their unit. But in the intent to sell, they actually didn't mention as divorce. Instead, they put it as married. So the whole process got delayed back because of that. Now they have to write into HDB to change the status and then reverse back.
I have the same
and
type
all
of
this is
case.
because of
Yeah.
a DIY seller.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that means he didn't want to pay the extra commission, so he thought he could save the commission, but he ended up.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
how about
also
you?
have the same type of case wherein they are divorced, but in the Singh Pass, their profile, it is mentioned as single. So when they are applying the HFE, it is always getting bounced and they're not able to proceed further. Then they came to me, why is it happening? When I saw the Singh Pass, whereas that lady is a divorcee and has the custody of 2 children, but the profile is showing single. So then I had to amend the whole HFE application, manually key in all the things. Also, I advised her to go to the Singh Pass and get the profile changed. Then the HFE went through.
Okay, so that's your experience of of the problems
Right,
that
which
So you
the
see-
RFL portal
Portal.
might not,
So
So
you-
you see, having to sell and buy on your own, it's highly emotional and stressful.
correct, true,
You see?
true.
So that's where we actually provide that support, that emotional buffer between parties.
Correct,
And
true,
also
true.
to, that emotional buffer.
Mm.
And we also give our objective point of view. So that's
to the sellers.
correct.
And end of the day, it's the biggest transaction in our life. We are doing one
Exactly,
or two or three
exactly.
only in our
True.
entire
It's the
life.
largest financial
Yeah.
transaction.
Yeah,
So
it's-
it only makes sense to actually leave it to a professional.
Yes, well
Yes,
done. Okay, still on the story, moving on to you. This is the question I think a lot of sellers have on their mind. And this is something that I would like to ask you also. As a seller, you always want to get the highest price. As a buyer, you want to always get the lowest price, right? But now with this portal, sellers are trying to mimic agent work by becoming a self DIY agent. So do you think that with this new RFL portal, sellers are going to be able to achieve their desired highest price that they want?
I'm afraid not. The reason being, listing itself is one thing. They might just list it, but sometimes they wouldn't be able to put the photos or the videos properly. The blurred photos or video, if there is no proper video, the buyer would not be able to visualize how the house looks like. And normally what do we do is, like, when we are taking the photos, if there is any messy things over there, we try to clear up. And even on the photos also, we try to clear up the photos and put a neat photos on the portal. That gives an idea to the buyer, this house looks like this. But when they just post the photos in that manner, buyers might not get attracted to it, first of all. Second thing, as rightly Farisha said, that when there is a viewings, they might not have that flexibility of the time to conduct the viewings whenever the buyers are approaching them, and also whether they'll be able to or equip themselves to handle the crowds when there is an open house.
Correct.
Whether they'll be able to cater to all their requests and then their questions. These are some of the things. Apart from that, yes, appealing to the HDB officers for any of the potential hiccups and sorting out the issues. All these have to be handled. Just listing the portals will not ensure or guarantee you that
The
you can
highest
get the
price.
highest
Transactions.
price.
Okay, so it's definitely a no, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I doubt really that they can without any professional touch.
Okay, so for me, I personally feel, you have mentioned the things about, sellers and buyers who do without agents, so that's not going to happen. And you were mentioning about all the tedious processes that we agents go through,
Challenges.
the challenges, and how we collaborate, calibrate the whole processes together. And you were talking about, not able to actually get the desired price. Now, for me, I'll give you a very simple example. Just imagine if all of us now are doctors, okay? And we all know the medical field very well. Now, when you are sick, you know your medical condition, you know the symptoms of what you're feeling, and you know the medication to be given also. But are you going to self-medicate yourself if you're a doctor? Yes or no?
No, it
No?
depends. If flu, yes.
Okay, you're a horrible doctor. How about you?
As she said, maybe simple ailments,
Okay, you're a
but
horrible
not
doctor.
if it is.
How about you?
I want to get well fast.
Okay,
you know.
get
Yeah,
well first, right?
get
But
well.
a
So, of
normal
course-
person who, I think because I'm stuck with all the ladies, you all have this homely method of, remedies at home.
Again, I
Remedies,
want
yeah.
to highlight that why I did that is because I wanted to save time, right? But end of the
Save
day,
money lah,
I
don't
want
bluff
if I
lah.
want to take my antibiotics, I still have to go
Yeah,
to
But if
correct.
it's
my
something
doctor.
major, definitely we would
Correct.
look for some professional
Correct.
help.
So,
And then
given-
we would want to go to the
Correct.
doctor
So
and get
given the
well
same
soon.
example, right? If you are sick, you will definitely want to see a doctor, right? Even though you are from the same profession.
Yep.
So now the same thing is when you have a seller and a buyer on the portal, they may think, oh, I'm an agent, my house is a beautiful house.
You can't, even though
But they
you're a
don't
doctor,
understand-
you cannot do a
Correct.
surgery on yourself.
Correct. But they do not understand one thing that, every seller, right? Of course, you have spent a lot of money on your house renovations. And he may think, okay, my house, I think, is worth $1 million. But they do not understand that, the beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. If the buyer doesn't appreciate your renovation, he's not going to pay you the
Yeah.
amount you want. Correct?
The renovation
And-
is subjective. The
Correct.
matter
It's
is
very subjective.
Yep.
And the same thing is, if you don't get an agent inside, are you able to actually accept the rejection? when a buyer comes up front to you and blindly says, "Wow, you're horrible,
Yeah.
so horrible. You're horrible. Your house is so bad."
Oh my God, you're so right. You know why? Some of the time, our buyers, when after they view, they give horrible comments
Yes.
of the house. We have to beautify and be very sensitive whenever we give feedback. So the seller will be excited. So how was it? How was the viewing go? Any feedback? Oh, they just find it that they need to view another few more units before they decide. They love the unit, of course. We have to
you have
see
to
in a
buffer.
manner.
Also, we
Without
should have ready
discouraging.
answers when the buyer asks us on a blunt questions on the
I know.
face.
Oh my God! If
We need to really
I'm going to
handle them in a
screenshot all
very
the
graceful
buyers'
manner.
comments, I think the sellers will be really discouraged, which
Okay.
we don't
So
want
we
that to
act
do.
as that
act as the middle.
unbiased,
Yeah, unbiased.
giving the unbiased feedback.
Exactly.
You know, to
Correct.
sellers.
Let the show
We become
go
the
on.
filters.
Yeah.
So I think, for me, in a nutshell, with all these processes that we have to do as agents, we worked very hard to get the license. And if we do something wrong, we are going to get penalized for it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So is the seller or the buyer
Something like a
willing to
potential
actually?
criminals.
Is the seller and the buyer actually willing to take the responsibility of if anything goes wrong, they are liable?
Correct.
I don't think so. So in the long run, you need our services, and there's something that we provide which no portal can do it. Yeah?
And apart from all this, end of the day, I think most of the clients who engaged a proper professional agents become like the family members eventually.
True.
Throughout
Yeah.
the time, they become like a family doctor, family lawyer. They become family real estate agents for them. So that's where it happens. Of course, every industry have rotten eggs and all, but set it aside. But whenever they're going to look, if they fear of the agent, they just have to go and look through their reviews before they engage, go and explore. Now it's very easy to get information. Go to their Facebook, their Instagram, just stalk them for a while. That's why we are putting up.
Stalk them.
Stalk us, because we are putting ourselves there, how we are actually working. So if you're comfortable, you just engage. I don't need to fear. I understand the urge to sell on your own. At the same time, as a homeowner myself, I don't want to sell my house at your given price. I want it to be at my terms. So I think the control should be on mine.
Yeah,
I
you
think,
should have
yeah.
the final say.
So engaging an agent, just give them
Exactly.
the-
Some of them, the customers, both sellers and buyers, they would want to save on the agency commission, but sometimes, most of the time, they end up paying more than the commission that they
time
have.
as well.
Yes. And also the time, exactly. Also the time that they'll be putting it and the effort. So
It is actually possible.
just leave it to the professionals.
Correct,
We can do
correct,
a better
exactly.
job then.
It is possible to actually buy and sell. However, it's very tedious, it's very time consuming. There's a lot of effort put in to sell your unit at the highest price and most quickly.
Remember when we had an issue with our neighbor? We had an issue with a selling neighbor that this seller really doesn't mind paying commission to the agents. They just want the problems to be solved.
Yeah,
right?
correct.
That was
So that's
my
our
thing,
responsibility.
our thing. Then we went through and we tried to sort it out because it was a neighbor issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
So all this cannot be.
Cannot be done by a
By the-
portal. Yeah?
Right.
Correct.
Now, these 50 listings which have been removed, let's think that the seller really wanted the highest price. That's the reason they must have put it at a little highest price, which is above the 10% mark.
And that's
But
not
whatever the effort they put in to list it, finally it has been removed by HDB. So all the effort gone wasted.
True. So I think in a nutshell, I would say it's let the professionals do their job.
Yes.
And, for real
Yes.
estate, you'll be in better and,
Correct.
safer hands with professional agents like us. Yeah?
Because
Definitely.
ultimately, we agents are the one who have the experience that matters.
Yeah.
We are equipped with the expertise. We have the resources, the fact-based resources to go through the process with you smoothly and to ensure that your transaction is actually successful.
Think over the pain.
Yeah. So
We are called the professionals and the certified agents for a reason.
Okay. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed our fantastic show of sharing with you on our real estate insights of the industry in Singapore. Until the next time we see you on Property Sense SG Episode 2, I'm Jag.
This is Noonal.
I'm Farisha.
And this is Sherry.
And signing off, see you all the best. Take care, stay safe.